Hello, welcome to
Papi Approved Movies.
My name is Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
In our podcast, we'll review and critique my favorite PG-13 movies.
Movies that I wasn't allowed to watch until I turned 13.
Once a month, Natalie and I will watch a new PG-13 movie.
And I'll see if Papi's movies live up to the hype.
Which, of course, they will.
Today we're going to be watching Tremors.
Before we begin, there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie and don't want it to be spoiled,
Press pause and come back when you're finished. Now, Papi, tell me the deets on this movie.
hello, Natalie.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good.
Ready to talk about this movie?
Sure.
All right. Tremors came out in 1990 with a runtime of 1 hour and 36 minutes.
It looks older than 1990.
Well, 1990 is 35 years ago.
It looks old.
It's not streaming anywhere. We have to rent it on Amazon.
Amazon, please sponsor us.
I know, for else. It's written by S.S. Wilson, Brent Maddock, and Ron Underwood. It was directed by Ron Underwood. Main stars are Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, and Finn Carter. Fun fact, this movie has 6 sequels and a TV show. I didn't even know. I looked it up, just doing all my research. There's Tremors 2, and Tremors 3, and Tremors 4. Then there's 2 other movies that don't have numbers on them, but it's about Tremors. And then there's a TV show called Tremors. It's a big franchise. I didn't know how big it was.
I feel like by then they should have learned.
I think they did. And then
didn't they do science research as soon as they found the creatures? Like what's with all the sequels?
I think they're aliens. I think so. Then it's like an alien invasion or something like that.
Oh.
What'd you think of the movie?
What do you think I thought of the movie?
You know, this is a mystery because I loved it a lot. It's campy and goofy and silly and funny and a little bit scary. So I'm going to say you gave it a 3-star.
I gave it a 5-star.
5 stars! So you did love it the way I did. Your attitude gave me away. Maybe if I would have thought you would have liked it too. But then when you're like, what do you think I think about it? It threw me off. I called your bluff and I got played.
I win.
So you enjoyed it, huh?
Uh-huh.
See, it didn't take itself seriously. It was just goofy and fun and had a good story and it had a good scare. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I thought it had a good plot line.
How about the characters? Did you like any of the characters?
They were pretty amusing.
They were funny. They were likable too. As much as Val's kind of like his goofy kid, he's pretty likable. And Earl, like the bigger brother kind of thing, he's pretty cool too. I don't know.
I just don't understand their dynamic. Like, is it a father and son?
I don't think so. I mean, he doesn't call him Dad. He calls him Earl, right? So
I don't really know. Maybe they are siblings.
They don't look alike though.
Yeah, one's blonde and one's a brunette.
And one's maybe 15, 20 years older than the other one.
Yeah, so I don't really understand it. I feel like a origin story.
Maybe the sequels have it.
Would probably be within those things. Like, what are they doing out here?
Yeah, they're just 2 work hands. In the population of a town of 14, there are 2 of them. The crazy thing is it's a very small town, but we learn everybody's name in the town. Except for Melvin's parents. We don't see them. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really good.
I mean, I think that if you were in a neighborhood with only 14 people, like, you would know everyone and be very close to
You'd be
them.
like a family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most of them survive. Most of them. Not all of them, but most of them survive.
Why don't we get into the recap?
All right. The movie begins with 2 work hands, Val and Earl, putting up barbed wire fencing. After they finish, they see someone working for the university setting up seismograph equipment. Val's excited to meet them because he heard it would be a girl. His dream girl is a blonde with big chest. They meet Rhonda, who's a brunette, and Val's disappointed. Rhonda notices some strange readings on her equipment. What'd you think of this scene?
I thought it was fine. I just thought he was so much ruder when he saw her. Yeah. I feel like he could have gone from like wanting to hit on her to not, but like, why'd he have such an attitude change? Like, he kind of just became a jerk.
You know, he's like a little boy. The whole movie, he's kind of has the exuberance of a little boy. He's just like a goofy. Even when at the end of the movie, when he's like trying to kiss her, it's like super awkward. He's like a little boy. And so he has that innocent, stupid, like, oh, she's not what I wanted. Like, him throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
And she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actress is beautiful.
They're not going to cast someone as a main love interest during this time as an ugly person.
No, I know, but I'm saying if you're going to be like, oh, I want this girl. The fact that she wasn't brunette, why was he so disappointed just because she had brown hair?
I don't really know. Well, because she was also dressed very nerdy.
Yeah.
Like stereotypical nerdy, like big coat and like lots of sunblock on, like that kind of stereotypical nerdy.
Oh, that's right. She had sunblock on her nose.
Yeah.
And so she hadn't like wrapped it in, and so she got embarrassed when she saw it, right? She didn't notice it at the time. And he probably like, God, she's a nerd. I'm never going to want to be with her.
Yeah, or, throughout the movie, he's also a little self-deprecating. He like calls himself stupid a lot and is like, oh, I'm just some dude and stuff. So maybe he's like, oh yeah, like he just thinks they wouldn't go well together, like in general, just because like, oh, like she's clearly smart. This like smart person just from the way that she looks. And I'm like, I'm too stupid for her. Like we would not get along.
Yeah, but at first it was all about him being superficial, trying to hook up with this girl who fit this legs that go all the way up. Like, where do legs go if not all the way up?
Yeah, I think that he's supposed to look like a horrible person here just because he's like superficial. But I don't think it's necessarily wrong to have preference. I just think the way that he treated her poorly because he didn't meet his expectations.
Right.
Like, that's weird. But in general, I'm like, well, if he's not her type, then why does he have to, like, go after her,
Well, it's a town of 14 people. The next available girl is Mindy. Not at this point. They aren't leaving yet. The next available single person was Mindy, the little 8-year-old girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's all he has for choice. He has to drive 45 minutes in one direction to meet a girl. And then he's like, this girl, oh, she's going to come. It's going to be great. It was a dude last time, right? Because he's like, it's a girl this time. And then he goes up and he's just like a little boy. He's just throwing a tantrum. But I liked him. I thought he was a cool character. He's just funny. And him self-deprecating is because he is kind of like just a simple dude. He's not. Yeah. Afterwards, Val and Earl go to Chang's market in their hometown of Reflection, population 14. There they talk to Bert and Heather, big survivalists. Afterwards, Val and Earl get to Nestor's, their boss's house, to pick up some trash. Val hates life and tries to convince Earl to pack up their things and move away. As they were emptying a septic tank, they get nasty sewage on them, and Earl's done, and they pack up and leave. As they're leaving, they spot the town drunk on an electrical tower. They get to him and find out he's dead. They take him to Jim, the doctor, and find out he died of dehydration. Meanwhile, Fred, a sheep farmer, sees his sheep are scared. He goes to check it out, and he's eaten by a huge underground worm. I also like the way they kind of introduced the worm. They didn't really show it to you until later. They just kind of had you like,
there's something there.
There's something there, but you don't know what it looks like. What did you think of the design of the worm, the killing creature? I
liked it because you didn't even see the snakies, or you saw that it almost got Rhonda. And so it's like there's something, and you could almost think that it might be some huge earthquake because like animals freak out with earthquakes supposedly, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like it could be like, oh, there's something weird in the Earth's tectonics or whatever. But
sure. And the movie is called Tremors, right?
Yeah.
So you would think that has to do with earthquakes.
Yeah, so you could be kind of fooled by it.
Yeah, when we started the movie, you came in and the movie had already started. And the reason I did that was because the cover, you see the worm. And so that's why I tried to avoid for you to find out what it looked like. So hopefully that worked. Val and Earl are on the way out again. But this time they stop when they see Fred's sheep massacred. They call on Fred and only find its severed head. The boys freak out and go back to the market to call the police. On the way, they tell some construction workers about the murders. Not too much later, the construction workers are killed by the giant worm and a rock slide it causes. At the market, Val and Earl try to call the police, but the phones are all dead. They try to leave town, but the road's blocked because of the rock slide. Then they find the construction workers dead and take off, but they can't. The giant worm's snake tentacles have grabbed the truck. They eventually get free and drive back to the market to tell everyone. Val and Earl get back to the market and see a snake tentacle wrapped around the truck. They rip it off the truck and start freaking out about this creature and how many more that might be out there. That night, Jim and his wife Megan are out enjoying the evening when their generator disappears. They look to see what it is, and Jim is killed by the worm. Megan hides in the car, but the worm sinks the whole car. That part was kind of scary. Imagine, because, the worm probably got to her and ate her, but like the sand is coming into the car, you're getting driven underneath. It's like you're drowning, but in dirt. Yeah, that's scary. Back at the market, the group of people decide to have Val and Earl go on horseback to the nearest big city to get help. Meanwhile, Bert and Heather will drive around to find Rhonda. Val and Earl are off and stop by Jim's house to see the sunken car. They leave, and not too long after, their horses are spooked. They get bucked off and see the snakes. They grab the horses and start bringing them down. They run for it, and the worm gives chase. They run into a concrete trench, and the worm runs right into it, head first, killing itself. Where is Bert and Heather? They never found Rhonda?
Yeah, that's what I put. Like, no one decided to find the seismology student in this whole mess.
Well, Bert and Heather were supposed to. But then they didn't.
Didn't they die?
No, Bert and Heather survived. They're the ones the survivalists.
Oh.
Reba McEntire?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Val and Earl investigate the remains, and it's huge. Rhonda shows up and sees the worm and realizes that that's what's been causing all the strange numbers on our equipment. She also realizes that the worms do not have eyes. They can only find people based on sounds and vibrations. Based upon her data, there are 3 more worms left. I like that part. There's a finite number, and you're counting down to get them, right? And so you're like, there's 3 more to go. We got 1. So that way there's still more of a threat out there,
Uh-huh.
I thought that was pretty nice. They start to leave when another worm attacks them. They run and get on top of some huge boulders. They stay there all night and into the morning and realize that the worm never left. He's waiting for them. Rhonda comes up with the idea of pole vaulting between boulders to get to her truck. The team executes and gets away just in time. Did you like that part?
Yeah. Well, I don't understand the logistics, though, because it seems like horses are not fast enough for the thing, or they get spooked, and cars can be pulled down. And even later, when they use like a tank, basically, like it starts getting pulled down a little.
Right.
So how can they like drive away in a normal truck?
Well, the truck was on a road, so it's going fast. But the bulldozer was going slow, and then the horses are going slow. Well, no, I think the horses probably would get away.
But they got scared.
But they got scared, yeah. So the truck almost got them, but then as they started driving off, I don't know how fast that the creature is. I don't know if it's too fast because the people are running away from it. It's catching up, but it's not like it gets to them in like 1 second, But
they always are too slow.
They are too slow. So, but a car is way faster than people.
Yeah.
Anyways, her truck made it. Val and Earl and Rhonda get back to the market and start to make plans to go west to the mountains. They're made of rocks and the worm can't get to them there. Then they're attacked by the worms. Val saves a girl named Mindy and Rhonda, who gets tied up in barbed wire. So Val was the hero right there. You like that scene? She had to take her pants off.
I don't know.
And then they gave her new shoes. What kind of shoes were they?
Vans.
Still popular 35 years later.
But I don't see why they had to make it like that.
Take off her pants?
Yeah.
Check out those sexy legs. I don't know. And then he is the nice guy who like helps her with her cuts.
Yeah.
I guess maybe. Make him a hero.
But my one confusion about this scene is that she's trying to escape, right? And she is getting this barbed wire off. She does not care. Like, she's going to get free. She's pulling at the barbed wire with her bare hands. Just pulling it, trying to get herself out. And, like, no one tends to her hand wounds. She doesn't have any. Where are all her wounds on her hands? She's, like, ripping her skin open with the barbed wire.
Sure.
And there's, like, not a single drop of blood.
Yeah, I want to say that might be a little plot hole right there.
And he does too. He's not wearing gloves, and he tries pulling the barbed wire off of her. He doesn't get hurt either.
Is he not? Are you sure he's not? Because he's a worker guy. He might have gloves on.
Well, he had gloves in the other scene with the barbed wire, but in this scene, he's just trying to, like, get her free.
That's funny.
And then when they realize it's not going to work, then she, like, slides out.
I think barbed wire doesn't work with your hands. I think that's why. It only does legs. I don't know.
Like, if it can go through a whole pair of, like, thick denim, then how is it not going through, like, her skin?
Yeah, no, of course. And it goes through her skin, the denim and the skin, yeah. Everyone is safe inside when the refrigerator cooler starts making noises and the worm starts to tear the floorboards apart. The team gets to the roof, but Rhonda is tossed out the window. She successfully gets to the top of the water tower. The rest of the tower's citizens get on top of their roofs. You know, I want to go back real quick. You don't see her get to the top. That would be like an action scene that you can see her like kind of strut her stuff, you know? But there is the one scene where they all are doing the pole vaulting. Uh-huh. I really like that scene. It proves how cheesy the movie was. They were doing it perfectly simultaneously. Like they were going into each other's rock, like, you know, as they were leaving the other rock.
Yeah.
It was just, and it was like music being played. And I'm like, it's just fun. It's just goofy. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was nice.
And my question is how the little creature didn't like grab the poles from under
100%. Yeah, you hear the pole is going to attack the pole. It does attack the pole because there's times
they
where... They
tested it with the pole.
Yeah, they threw stuff out on there and it just starts grabbing it immediately. I don't know, but maybe it's between the rocks. It's kind of harder to get to, maybe.
Yeah, it can't fit its big head through there.
Yeah, just maybe the snake things. I don't know. Anyways, everybody's on the roof. Bert and Heather get to their home. Finally, where have they been this whole time? They've been gone like 2 days, just driving around looking for Rhonda.
And somehow their truck hasn't been pulled down and eaten.
Yeah, because they have to have stopped. Maybe just driving the whole time. I don't know. They communicate with everyone by CB. Val tells them to get onto their roof. They don't listen and the worm attacks them in their basement. Their basement is full of all types of weaponry. They make their stand and eventually kill the worm with an elephant gun. Then they get tons of weapons and get to their roof. Those people were kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They knew how to make pipe bombs. They had like maybe 40 to 50 guns on the wall. Had an elephant gun. I mean, they were...
I don't understand is why they didn't just go up to the roof like they were told. Like they actively were like, all right, time to fight this intruder.
I think they were getting all their weapons. At that point, weren't they just picking up weapons?
No, they were shooting at the thing, and then they just started grabbing weapons from the wall because they kept running out of stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, right? And every one of those weapons was full of ammo, right? They like throwing clips at each other. I thought that was pretty fun. And then Heather, played by Reba McEntire, who's like a really like petite, like really like cutie pie. At this point, she wasn't a grandma.
Yeah,
she's, it's 35 years ago. But like she's little, and she's like she has machine guns and shotguns. She was dual wielding for a while with two pistols. She was going at it. I loved it. Bert and Heather try to kill another worm, but the elephant gun is ineffective when the worm is underground. Then the worm starts to take out everyone's house's foundation. The worm turns over Nestor's mobile home and kills him. The worm then takes out Bert and Heather's truck. No one can drive to the mountains.
My question is, how did Rhonda's truck get out in the sand in the first place without a 4-wheel drive? Like, wouldn't she have gotten stuck?
I think the sand isn't the problem. It's going up the mountain.
Oh.
There's a trail in the mountains. It was probably very rocky and not very good. But as they're driving around the sand, it should be okay if you have a 2-wheel drive. The one thing that I go is that worm's really smart, right? Why you take out the truck?
So they can't drive.
How do they know it's a truck? They don't hear the truck's not making noise. It doesn't have vibration.
Because they heard it from before.
They just remember where it was the whole time. They take out the truck. That's the only thing I go. They're taking out the foundations, like to make the houses fall down. They can't hear anything.
They can, and that's why they are like, where did the people go? And then they start testing. They said they were testing the houses to see if the people were on the buildings because the people had to move if they started falling down.
Oh, maybe. So they were like talking to them.
They felt them go up into the building, and then they're like, where'd all the people go? And that's what they said in the movie. Like, oh, it's testing the houses to see which one has people on it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So it could have even thought the truck was like a mobile home or something.
Someone was in it. Yeah. It wasn't that they were just taking away their transportation. They were just trying to get the people.
It was just conveniently worked out that way for the movie.
Earl comes up with the idea of using a bulldozer and attaching a metal trailer to it to save all the people. They use a small tractor and run it off it to distract the worm, while Val goes and runs to get the bulldozer. It almost works, but Val is surrounded and freezes to confuse the worm. Then Rhonda makes another distraction, and Val gets to the bulldozer and attaches the trailer and picks everybody up in the town. I like that scene. It's a classic scene where the worm is like reaching out, and the snake part of the worm is reaching out, and then he lifts up his leg and it goes underneath it. Like he's just, you know what I mean? Like that's pretty good. Like, like he was like not scared. You know, I would have been like, I'm out. I'm gonna make my run for it and then get eaten, right? But he was like cool about it. He stayed there and then he went.
I just thought it was funny that only Rhonda like thought of how you could stand still. Like it's clearly like a vibration thing if you just stand still enough. Like they were doing that on the buildings already, just trying not to move or make noise. So like why couldn't you do that out in the wild?
I would say that the whole town, and you put all their intelligence together, and Rhonda's smarter than all of them. I think that's what they want you to believe. That there's just a bunch of like ignorant people who just live in a small town.
Bunch of country bumpkins.
A bunch of country bumpkins, and Rhonda comes here from the university and just starts schooling people.
Yeah, but like the other people know how to make like chlorine bombs and stuff.
Yeah, those guys have a different kind of intelligence. Yeah. All right, so everybody's on the trailer, and Val goes to Bert and Heather's house. Meanwhile, Bert and Heather are busy making pipe bombs. They pick up tons of weapons, and they go towards the mountain. The worms cannot attack the bulldozer, so it creates a huge ditch to crash the bulldozer. Everyone has to run and get on top of a set of boulders. They get on top of the other boulders. I think, we did that already.
We know that's not a good idea.
Yeah, and I was like a little disappointed. I'm like, are they going to start pole vaulting again? But then, they kind of changed it up.
My question is, if they made a ditch for the truck to come down, why didn't they just like dig from underneath and pull the boulders down?
Yeah, I mean, but the bulldozer's moving.
Oh, yeah, they can't. They might hit their head on the rock again and die again.
Well, that's not a terrible idea because it goes super fast. If it just goes underneath it, it would make it fall. So it's like making a ditch, but right below it. And then the people would be right on the ground. They'd be delicious. They're literally on a plate for them to eat.
But I can see where all the rocks would be in the way then.
It could be. On top of the boulder, Earl comes up with an idea of using the bombs as bait and fishing for the worms. So Earl's also the smart one, I guess. Between Earl and Val, obviously Val's not the smart one, but Earl comes up with a lot of ideas. It works, and the first worm is blown to bits. They try it again with the second one. And this one spits the bomb back onto them and gets everybody scattered off the rock. That's a pretty smart one, right? But he's probably the one that came up with the ditch idea in the first place for the bulldozer.
Well, he's the only one left.
He's the only one left.
That's why. Because he's the brightest one of them that he hasn't been killed yet.
Survival of the fittest. Earl, Val, and Rhonda are knocked off the rock and freed so they aren't spotted. Val has an idea and he makes them run for it. The worm gives chase and he goes to the edge of a ravine. He throws the last bomb behind the worm, scaring it to go faster. The worm goes top speed towards Val, who jumps out of the way at the last second. The worm falls off the ravine onto the rocks below and is smashed. And I thought, he's going to fall off, get into the rocks, it's going to be fine. But then they show that worm gets obliterated. It falls down and just becomes like guts everywhere.
Well, it's almost like the rock is kryptonite. It's like it's poisonous or something.
Yeah, it is, huh? Like because 2 times it killed itself that way. The crew all get back to town and make plans to make money off of their new discovery.
When he jumped, I thought he was going to jump on top of the worm.
Like ride it off?
Yeah, that's what I thought he was going to do.
And die?
No, the whole movie, I figured someone would ride the worm.
Yeah, like a worm rider.
Yeah, like they jump on its back and the worm would be like, what the hell is going on?
And then he like steers it in the wrong place or something?
Or it like just shoots it with an elephant gun.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, the crew gets back to town. They start talking about their new discovery. Rhonda's excited about the scientific ramifications of the worm. Val has an awkward scene with Rhonda, and with Earl's encouragement, goes and kisses her. The end. I read in the movie, originally they don't kiss. Mm-hmm. But they do test screening, so they play the movie for like an audience, and then the audience says, hey, what they like? That the audience scream, kiss her, kiss her, kiss her. And so they went back and refilmed the ending to add the kiss. Because they weren't going to do that. It wasn't about their love affair. Val had a crush on her, but he's such a nerdy guy that he couldn't figure out how to like be with her. And she seemed to be into him too, Uh-huh. And then he kisses her. So they added that just to make the audience happy. And I always say all these movies end with kisses. Uh-huh. I watch tons of movies, they kiss at the end, roll credits. And I go, people love that kind of ending. People love kissing at the end of movies. And they even scream for it. The end. was a good movie.
I can't imagine a theater full of people yelling at the screen. That'd be like a theater full of moms.
I would say it was, I don't know what test screening is. I would love to be a test audience. Wouldn't that be fun?
No, that would be the worst because then you get the sucky version of the movie.
No, then you watch the good one. I would say we watch it and go, you know what? Didn't work. The pole vaulting didn't work. Maybe you should have a scene where like a snake grabbed one of the pole vaults, but he was able to wrestle it back. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, I don't think they should have kissed at the end. Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe we'll take that out. You know what I'm saying? I think if we can make a difference and change the movie in a positive way, especially with plot holes, for sure.
And I would tell everyone that I made the movie.
Yeah, I'm a huge part of this movie. Wait, are you a director? Not necessarily a director, but...
I gave them some direction.
There was direction given from me, so yeah. Could this movie still be made today?
Yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be another sequel.
I think the last movie came out like 2017 or 2019 or something like that.
So maybe it will be made again. I think that in general, Rhonda was a pretty good character.
Sure.
I think her coming up with majority of the stuff kind of makes sense because she's the only one that has like an education out of all of them.
Sure.
But I thought it was a little annoying when they like kind of ignored her, like when they were on the rocks, she's like, I have a plan, guys. And then they were all like, so if like there's one way we can make a plan, and like, why wouldn't they go to her? Yeah,
it's just, well, I guess this isn't a scientific answer. This is a man answer where we as men can figure this out.
But it was like strange because it wasn't even just like something that wouldn't be made today. It just didn't fit in. Because the whole movie, everyone's like, oh, let's go to Rhonda.
She's the smart one.
Yeah, she's the smart one. And even later in the movie, when they're stuck on the buildings, he's like, do you have a plan? Like, what's a way to get off? And she's like, why are you asking me? Like, she gets mad at him. Like, why do you keep asking me about every little thing you want to do? Like, ask for permission.
100% real. There was the real weird scene where they go, so let's come up with a plan. And then they talk over her. And they like ignore her. And then she just goes, right? She just does the pole vaulting off the boulder by herself. And then they all like, oh, let's do that. But it doesn't make sense since they kind of establish her as the brains of the situation.
And they all kind of like respect her for that. Like the whole town is like, you have such great ideas. Or like they're always trying to get her opinion on things, even like little things that she even meant, like even said something about in the movie. Where like, why are you always asking me? Like just like do stuff.
That's what I'm saying. We should be a test audience. You'd be able to knock that scene right out because it's a stupid scene.
So that was weird that they wouldn't like ask her because they always want her opinion throughout the movie.
It didn't fit. You're right.
It was unlike them in that way.
Anything else with other notes that are not attached to the Bechdel test?
I thought that her having to take her pants off was kind of a cheap move.
Just check out some legs.
Yeah, it was just kind of strange.
Yeah, it's just kind of a funny scene. And then I think there had to be a way where Val had to save her to start a romance. If you want to have the romance there. Because she does like him after that, right? Especially when he's like tending to her wounds and Earl's giving him the
eye. Well, they already started the romance earlier when they were on the rock. And then like she wears his jacket.
He gives her the jacket and then like they wake up kind of snuggling a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So I feel like it's already kind of obvious. Just also the obviousness of that she's just like, he wanted to date her from the beginning and just wasn't what she wanted.
Wow. I mean...
Like, you can kind of tell it's going to go in that direction.
Right.
But it's like, I just thought it was a bit strange.
Unnecessary to take her pants off.
Yeah. And they made her seem helpless when that's not really her.
Yeah. Once again, it's one of those moves not to bring her down, but to bring him up.
Yeah.
Make him the hero. Although he was the hero saving Mindy on the pogo stick. All right. Does it pass the Bechdel test?
I don't know.
Bechdel test is a test to check female representation in movies. There are 3 criteria. Criteria number 1, are there 2 or more named females?
Yeah.
There's a lot of females. There's a Nancy, there's a Rhonda, there's a Mindy, there's a Megan, there's a Heather, a lot. Criteria number 2, do they speak to each other?
I don't really know.
I think they do talk to each other, but everybody talks to each other in a big group. So I don't know if there's any specific conversation with 2 females to each other. I don't know. What are you going to say?
So not really.
So there is conversations between them, but are there any conversation that are just between 2 females?
No.
No. So it does not pass the Bechdel test. I do think that the female representation is high. They don't necessarily talk to each other because most people don't talk to each other than the main characters. But I think that the women are well portrayed in the movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
Heather is as strong as Bert with the guns. She was using machine guns. She knew all her things. She was helping making the bombs. Like, she was tough. She wasn't like Bert's weak wife that was like, oh, I'll help you. No, she knew the guns. She knew the weapons. She did the exchanging of weapons. Like, she knew her stuff. And then Rhonda, who's the smartest character in the whole movie. So that the women were portrayed pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Anything else before we move on?
I thought of a bunch of random things.
All right, go ahead.
So first of all, one of the things is that the worm smells really bad.
Yes, alive and dead. Yeah.
He's just really stinky. So why couldn't they smell him coming?
So true. So true.
He's really bad and it's really strong.
Yes.
Like they can smell it from very far away, and they like when it's running towards them or when they're like stuck on the rock, they don't know if it's there or not.
That's a good point. They should be able to smell it from far away. Maybe they would have been like under the ground, you can't smell it. But
or even when they're running, they can like they can't smell it coming after them.
Right, because there's a scene where Rhonda almost gets eaten.
Yeah.
And she doesn't. It's like completely oblivious to it.
Like it's very strange how they never smell it coming, even though it's like known for its stench.
And they mentioned it several times that it stinks, that it smells really bad.
I think also a lot of them had like zero survival instincts.
No. Other than the two doomsday preppers.
No, but I'm just saying in general, like they were just like the young kid, like there's a teenager.
Melvin.
He's like, you would think he'd be a little smarter, but he's just like walking. He doesn't care. He's just like.
Yeah, he's playing basketball. He's dribbling his basketball and the worm eats the basketball. You're like, what are you doing, dude? You know there's drama going on. Like, go inside. Well, the girls too, right? Mindy, like, what are you doing? Pogo sticking down the street. Like,
yeah, or like a lot of them are just like super loud. And it's like, bro, we've already established they can hear you. Like, shut up. That's funny. Like, they all have like very low survival instinct. Like, yeah, I know all of you are going to get eaten. And like, majority of them did.
Yeah, they survived. Like, Melvin survived. Nancy and Mindy survived. Bert and Heather. Val and Earl, obviously, Rhonda. But Nestor gets eaten. Oh, Miguel. The dude who sets the tractor out. Like the one Latino guy inside Chang's market. Oh, Chang gets eaten. He doesn't make it.
And I also am confused about Chang because he bought the worm, like the dead piece of worm, for like $15, but to like make money off of it. But I don't understand how he made money off of it because there's 14 people in the town, and it's like it seemed like he was gonna make movies with it, or like he made like puppet movies with it on the wall.
He just did it so that way people can take a picture with this alien worm and then he charges everybody like $10 for a picture or whatever.
I know, but it seemed like they showed like a thing full of like VHS tapes or something, or maybe it was just like an Easter egg, but it's like alien worm, like underground, like something like that.
I did it really?
Yeah, there was like a bookshelf full of like movies, so I thought maybe he made like puppet movies or something.
And that must have been an Easter egg. I didn't even notice it. Yeah, I think he was just making money, just selling it. Like, hey, take a picture with this alien worm, $10 or something like that. But I mean, it has to be a tourist stop. They probably have a gas station. There's only one gas station. I mean, the next city's 40 miles away. So it's be like the only time they get people are people who are driving to the biggest city from the other big city, and then they have to stop to get gas or something, right? Although I didn't see a gas station. So, I mean, maybe if someone has to get like some snacks at the market. But like, you're going to sell it to the 13 other people that live in town? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's only 2 kids out of that.
There's only 2 kids. All right. Anything else before we finish the pod?
No.
Thank you for tuning into Papi Approved Movies.
If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast app, or like our podcast on YouTube. If you watched till the end of today's episode, comment down below the worm emoji.
We put out an episode twice a month.
If you want to see extra podcast content, follow our TikTok at Papi Approved Movies.
If you want to suggest a movie for us to watch and critique,
Email us at papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com.
That's papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com. No spaces, no caps.
We'll try our best to get to your suggestion, and remember, it has to be PG-13.
I'm Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
See you next time.
Bye!